What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with Altcoin Buzz. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin for newbies, beginners, whatever you call yourself, cryptocurrency newbie, altcoin newbie, whatever it may be. All right, so it's going to be a little bit of a long video, but we're going to try and cover as much as we can, as quick as we can. If you're new to this channel and you like information like this, at the end of the video, feel free to subscribe, like the video, give us some support so other people can find this video. That's what liking the video is going to do. Or comment and tell a story or ask a question, and someone in the community will try to solve that for you. So we're going to kick it off with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the most popular cryptocurrency that we have right now. It's got the most name recognition. It was started in 2009 by Satoshi Nakamoto, which is an alias for somebody that we don't really know who he is. We don't know if he's somebody over in Asia, if he's somewhere over in United States, if he's in Switzerland. We don't know. So it's decentralized, meaning there's no central power behind it. No government, no bank, no nothing. It's just there's a Bitcoin core community of people who come together to act as if they are, I guess you could say kind of like the government, but they can't control the actual cryptocurrency itself. They can't take it away from you. Once you own it, you put it in your secure key. It's stored away. They can't ever take it away from you or audit you or view your cryptocurrency unless you're doing things that really are bringing you into the limelight, I guess you could say. Then it doesn't have the privacy factor of a privacy coin like Dash or Zcash or Monero, right? But Bitcoin, by and large, is secure, and really only you know what you have in your wallet, and it's really difficult for any bank or government to really find out how much you have. They can track your banking statements to estimate it, but it's difficult for them to get that information unless they had a warrant or something like that because you were doing something criminal. But outside of that, it's a decentralized cryptocurrency, and there's many like it. And this is where we're going to kick it off and go into detail, right? So the first thing you need to know is where can you get Bitcoin? So you can get Bitcoin from Coinbase, CoinMama. There's a series of different wallets where you can trade fiat currency for Bitcoin. And then once you get the Bitcoin, if you wanted to transfer it into, say, an alternative coin, an altcoin is one of these cryptocurrencies like Zcash or Dash or Monero or Lisk or even Ethereum and Litecoin and all these different ones, Ripple. You can trade your Bitcoin for that on what they call an exchange. Just like a money exchange, it's a cryptocurrency exchange. And there is limited fees. Those are small fees, but they're not very high. But that's what you would do, is you would trade your cryptocurrency, your Bitcoin, for an altcoin that you believe would grow. So if you're coming into Bitcoin, you're going to need to know about altcoins. Yes, sure, it's good to know about Bitcoin and take it one step at a time, but altcoins are going to be where you're going to eventually move into, because that's kind of like the stock market. Basically, an ICO and an IPO are similar in the sense that they are both crowdsourced funding that happen, and people jump in and invest in your company. Instead of getting stock shares, they get coins or tokens. So that's how you use a wallet to go to an exchange, and then from there you can participate in ICOs using cryptocurrency. So you can sign up for an ICO that you're really excited about. Let's just say you wanted to get into a video gaming ICO, a really exciting company that was coming out for video gaming, and you wanted to be one of the first to participate in that crowdfunding and get really good prices on the token price. You can invest in that. They give away, depending on the ICO, they might give away bonuses or whatever. And that's just getting in there really early, and that's called an ICO, initial coin offering, similar to an IPO, initial public offering in the stock market industry, right? Now, the thing that we have to talk about with Bitcoin in particular is the price. So people are fairly regularly concerned about, did they miss the boat? Or is it a good time to buy cryptocurrency? Is it a good time to get in? And the best thing that we could say to that is less than 1% of the world's population really even knows about cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. So that means there's 99% of the world is ready to learn about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. And here in the United States, it might be a little bit more than 1% of the people know about it, but less than 1% of the people actually own a Bitcoin or even own some Bitcoin. So mainstream adoption has not happened yet. So when you're looking at a Bitcoin price of, say, $82.63, that's where you get the whole people saying, I mean, you've heard John McAfee say $500,000 for a Bitcoin. You've heard other people out there talking about the potential price being anywhere between $2 million to $5 million for one Bitcoin. I mean, these are very high estimates, but these are very serious people making very serious claims that that's really what's possible with a Bitcoin. So sure, when you buy Bitcoin at 82.63, could it go down? Yes. We've seen that historically. It could go down before it goes back up, but it's always been going up, right? So even when it does on the yearly, if we just look at year, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. You know, it's like boot camp all over again. Up, down, up, down, up, down, but it's always going up more than it's coming down. So when it goes down, this leads us to our next point. Do not sell at a low. So it's buy low, sell high. Don't buy high, sell low. You don't ever want to be that person. So it's a patience thing. And I think that's the one thing that we have to stress with you guys is patience with this. This is a 2 to 5 year bull market as mainstream adoption occurs. So as it goes from 1% to 10% to 20% to possibly even 100%, because it could be that just like 100% almost 100% of Americans have access to the internet, right? But at some point in time, only a select few people had access to the internet. And over a span of a decade and then 2 decades and 3 decades, that adoption really settled in. And that's where if you had invested in a company like Microsoft or even Google, over the long term, you would see those gains start to pay off for you after 5 to 10 years, right? Same thing with Bitcoin. So if you're watching this video right now, here it is in 2017, almost 2018. It's December 2018, right, or 2017 right now. Into 2018, there's going to be more mainstream adoption. The sooner you get in, even at these prices, the more secure you're going to get. And let me just give you an example of this. So Mike Novogratz, he's a very popular person in the investment arena for the Bitcoin cryptocurrency guys because of his honesty, his punctuality, the way that he communicates. People like him, they trust him, and they believe him when he talks. He talks with authority. He's with the investment firm Fortress Investment Group, is who he used to manage for. And he's a billionaire now, but he's made a lot of money in cryptocurrency. And right now he's saying that Bitcoin is approaching $10,000. So sure, whenever he says that, he says this is not financial advice because, you know, guys like us, him, me, anyone else, they can't give financial advice unless you're paying them for financial advice and you've agreed to it, right? Until then, it's all just some guy's opinion, right? So him saying that he believes Bitcoin's going to reach $10,000 right now would be a good price. But even if it pulls back to $5,000 before it gets to $10,000, and let's just say you bought this, let's say you bought today at $82.63, you have to mentally prepare and say, if it goes to $5,000, am I going to panic sell and lose $3,000? And the answer had better be something that you're willing to accept. And I would suggest that you say no. I would say that because you're in it for 3 years, right? So you don't need to pull that money out at any given time. You just want to keep it and watch it grow. Keep it there, like close it, put it in the piggy bank and don't touch it, right? Even if it pulls back, the worst thing you can do to yourself is watch this price on the hour every hour and be like, and then start to become depressed. So what I'm saying is every bit of money that you put into cryptocurrency, you should say, if I lose it all, 100% of it, you're not going to be depressed and like, you know, sad and like, you know, you're not going to do anything stupid, right? So that's how you know you're ready to invest in Bitcoin, is if you can come to terms with the fact that if you lost it all, that you'll be okay with it because it wasn't like money that was going to be a hedge against your house or anything like that. Although there has been people who did take out a loan against their house and sold their house, started living out of their van, and invested in Bitcoin when it was $200 a coin. But you know, that's a risk that I'm not even going to advocate for. But as you can see, that worked out for those people. But the point is that if you're mature enough to accept that, then you're probably going to be mature enough to accept Bitcoin at 100,000 or 10,000 or wherever the gains are going to come, right? So that's the point, is if you can accept what the worst case scenario, so you'll be prepared to accept the best case scenario. So hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. That's the best way to put it, guys. Now, these are long-term investments, and if you lose the money, you know what to expect. So if we just come through here, there's a great guide here on Cointelegraph. I really like Cointelegraph and the way they went about putting this out there for you guys. And I'm going to go through this because in case I missed anything, I want to make sure we cover it. So the Bitcoin definition is a digital currency which is used and distributed electronically. Bitcoin is a decentralized peer-to-peer network. No single institution or person controls it. Bitcoins can't be printed, and their amount is limited. Only 21 million Bitcoins can ever be created. See, it's really important that we go through this, right? Because in case I missed something. Bitcoin was first introduced as an open source software by an anonymous programmer or a group of programmers under the alias Satoshi Nakamoto in 2009. There's been a lot of rumors about the real identity of BTC's creator. Nakamoto himself once claimed to be a 37-year-old male living in Japan. However, because of his perfect English and his software not being labeled in Japanese, there are reasonable doubts about this. Around mid-2010, Nakamoto moved on to other things, leaving Bitcoin in the hands of a few prominent members of the BTC community. So also Satoshi named Gavin Anderson a lead developer. It has been estimated that Nakamoto owns around the MLN Bitcoins, which amounts to approximately 3.6 billion, or 1 million Bitcoins. Okay, so he owns about 1 million Bitcoins, 3.6 billion as of September 2017. Who controls Bitcoin? According to Gavin Anderson, the very first thing he focused on after Nakamoto moved on from the project was further decentralization. So Anderson wanted Bitcoin to continue its existence autonomously, even if he would get hit by a bus. Okay, so moving right along. So how does Bitcoin work? A user sees only amount of Bitcoins on his or her wallet and transaction details. Behind the scenes, the Bitcoin network is sharing the public ledger called the blockchain. So you need to know about the blockchain. The ledger contains every transaction ever processed. Digital records of transactions are combined into blocks. Okay, so you can come onto this website on Cointelegraph, and it has a Bitcoin for beginners. And I'm guiding you to this because it's a piece of literature that you can refer to outside of this video to get more information. So decentralized. One of Satoshi Nakamoto's main objectives when creating Bitcoin was the network's independence from any governing authorities. That's what people in this community, the libertarians, the whatever you want to call them, the group that doesn't really care for the government or banks, they like the decentralized manner. Now, people question whether or not this can continue decentralized because at some point in time you get the notion that the bankers and Wall Street will try to claw their way in here, and they might just do that. But one thing as an investor that could play into your advantage as far as an investment goes, not necessarily as a libertarian or as an anarchist, but it would be that if you're in before Wall Street starts dumping money in there, you will start seeing gains, right? So that's one way that people kind of look at the upside. Anonymous, these banks know virtually everything about their clients, credit history, address, phone numbers, so the fact that it's anonymous. Transparent. The anonymity of Bitcoin is only relative as every single BTC transaction that ever happened is stored in the blockchain. In theory, if your wallet was publicly used, anyone could tell how much money is in it by carefully studying the blockchain ledger. However, tracing a particular Bitcoin address to a person is nearly impossible. And that's where you need to know about the difference between wallets. You have, check out hardware wallets like the Nano S. Check out paper wallets. Check out Jacks. So there's various different places to store your Bitcoin. It's recommended that the safest way to do it is on a hardware wallet, but it could be a paper wallet. And some people even like to use exchanges, although that's not recommended because of what happened with Mt. Gox. So if you're taking notes right now, look up Mt. Gox, mt.gox, which was an exchange that was hacked and people lost their Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's fast. The Bitcoin network processes payments almost instantaneously. It normally takes just a few minutes for someone on the other side of the world to receive the money, while normal bank transactions can take several days. Now, it has gotten slower with Bitcoin to transact, and with that being said, that's where you need to learn about hard forks. So if you're taking notes, hard forks. And what a hard fork is basically an upgrade to the Bitcoin blockchain, where it forks, it introduces new code and advanced code that is more up to date than the 2009, and basically essentially creating a brand new cryptocurrency like Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin Gold, or as today we saw, Bitcoin Diamond. So there's multiple different Bitcoin forks. Even Litecoin is actually a Bitcoin fork, so that's interesting. Now, where can I buy? What can I buy with Bitcoin? Well, back in 2009, there was that big question, and it's actually gotten a little, it hasn't really changed too much over the years about how to spend Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has actually turned into a store of value like gold is, and it's not necessarily an everyday kind of transaction cryptocurrency, whereas Ripple stands in the position to be an everyday use kind of cryptocurrency. They work with 47 banks, American Express, and they keep working with more and more financial institutions to solve that, which is not to the liking of the libertarians who want to keep it decentralized. So Ripple's the one that is basically very friendly to the bankers. So how to get Bitcoin? We talked about exchanges. We talked about other marketplace, wallets, etc. Pros. BTC was designed with freedom in mind. So Gary Vaynerchuk, he said, blockchain technology is something that can overthrow Russia, China, and the United States governments because it's that powerful with its decentralized nature. Now, that's just something that people have rallied around because they don't like oppressive governments, and they like the freedom that can come from some technology like decentralized crypto money. High portability. One of the distinct characteristics of money is portability, meaning it should be easy to carry and use. Because it's, if you have coins in your pocket or money in your pocket, it's kind of cumbersome and it's kind of annoying to have to go into other countries and change it out for paper dollars. Whereas if all you can do is just use a simple chip and just scan it there, like a credit card maybe is even easier, right? But that's kind of the mission of non-tangible assets. So money that you can't see or touch or anything like that, that's what Bitcoin is. So you choose your own commission, no PCI, safety and control. It can't be counterfeited. That's really important, although it can be hacked. So we're being honest about that. Transparent and neutral. Now, there's legal questions behind Bitcoin that you need to know about, such as China just recently banned cryptocurrencies essentially from their country, the exchanges and the ICOs. Level of recognition. Bitcoin is recognized and is a perfectly legal in a lot of countries. However, some of the world's countries, governments, still don't have any regulations regarding BTC. It's possible that if you send your Bitcoin to a friend and you miss one letter or one number, that Bitcoin could be lost forever. So it is possible to lose access to your money or even lose the money in transfer because you didn't get the numbers right when you copy and paste it. So it's very important that you use privacy and that when you store your keys that you keep them. So let's just read this. A key is a unique alphanumeric password necessary to access a Bitcoin wallet. Losing that key essentially means losing your wallet. However, most current wallets have backup and restore mechanisms, but obviously the user needs to set them up before being able to use them. So before you put your Bitcoin into a wallet, make sure you back it up. If you're using two-factor authentication, make sure you get the backup for the two-factor authentication. And if you're using a wallet, make sure you write down the key and store it in a safe place. And maybe even have two of those backups, right? In case you lose one of the backups. But that's the point. Volatility. The price of Bitcoin goes up and down. We already talked about those cycles of skyrocketing and then plummeting. So be prepared for both when you get in there. But what you're doing is you're just getting in, you're getting started, and you're realizing that. So it's very important that you're on the same page, that if it goes up, great. If it goes down, okay, I understand. I knew that this was going to happen because it always goes up and goes down. That's what we just went over in the chart. Is Bitcoin a pyramid scheme? A billionaire investor, Howard Marks, has recently stated that digital currencies are nothing but a pyramid scheme. He elaborated, saying that the current success of digital currencies is based on nothing but willingness to ascribe value to something that actually has no value beyond what people will pay for it. Okay, those investing in a pyramid scheme get their returns from their own money or their subsequent investors' money instead of from profit made by the individuals running the business. When it comes to Bitcoin, however, the gains and values come from the limited supply of coins. As more people acquire the coins, the supply gets rarer, thus making each coin more and more valuable. Bitcoin simply has nothing in common with the standard pyramid scheme. So that's the argument to the pyramid scheme thing. Is Bitcoin a bubble? We talked about Mt. Gox. You're going to want to look at that. Chinese exchanges that once was handling 70%. By the way, the Chinese might come back into the market. So it's very interesting to observe that. But Bitcoin tax, that's a whole subject for another video that we're just not going to go over. If you're looking at some of the exchanges, you can get it on Coinbase, Bittrex. I don't see Binance on here. I would say the ones that you're going to want to get familiar with right out of the gates is going to be Coinbase, Bittrex, and Binance, which is not on here already. Kraken used to be one of the top ones. It's lost some appeal to people due to some circumstances and trust, but I still like Kraken. It's pretty good. GDAX is also another good one that you're going to want to get familiar with, but all of these are fairly trustworthy. Anyways, here's some people to follow. Andros Antopoulos, you're going to want to follow him. He breaks things down in symposiums. Me personally, I'm going to recommend some of these guys as I see them. Gavin Anderson, we just talked about him. There's also Robert Ver. Where's Robert Ver? Right here. Roger Ver. Roger Ver is one of the first guys. I think you're going to want to follow him. And I do see Vitalik on here. He's the creator of Ethereum, which is a whole nother cryptocurrency that you're going to want to look into. It's like cryptocurrency meets iOS and Android is basically what that is. And then there's also, I don't see on this list, John McAfee. He's from McAfee anti-spyware. So John McAfee. And then let me just go over one thing about understanding how to research cryptocurrencies, because I think this is important. For those of you who stayed on this video, I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So this is called coinmarketcap.com. You start right here with 1329 cryptocurrencies. That means there's 1,329 different cryptocurrencies, which not all of them are cryptocurrencies. Some of them are tokens and coins, but they have their own cryptocurrency in there. So a cryptocurrency, say like, let's give you a good one here, Populous. Okay, so Populous, they're a company basically that does invoicing. So invoice discounting for the blockchain era. So rebuilding invoice financing block by block for invoice buyers and sellers. So this is a company that's doing invoicing on the blockchain, right? So you'll see, you can come here and you can find out where you can actually purchase this cryptocurrency. And you would go here to the popular markets, the exchanges, and you would have to sign up with one of these exchanges in order to purchase Populous. So you go charts, that shows you the charts, the price action, right? It's on a bull run a little bit, they are. And then you have markets where you can acquire it. You just click on here, Ether Delta, and you click on that. Ether Delta is a real challenge to use though, and it's not necessarily recommended for newbies. This one, because it is fairly new, it's not on Bittrex or Binance, which are the ones that I personally recommend for people who are new to it because of their friendly user interfaces. And it's nothing against these, it's just when you're starting out, you might get confused with some of these more complex exchanges like Ether Delta. But for people who have been doing cryptocurrency for a while, they love Ether Delta, and some people don't. It just depends on personal preference. Now here's another one, Power Ledger. These guys are a decentralized power service. So they brought, if you have solar panels on your rooftop and you produce 10,000 kilowatts per day and you're only using 2,000 kilowatts, these are just raw numbers by the way, then you can sell 8,000 kilowatts back into the grid and other people can use that power instead of using the public utility. So that's where they're really exciting. So if you believe in, they're their cryptocurrency or their model, you can invest in their tokens right here, right? And look at they, ever since they've hit the market, they've done nothing but go up, right? And that was back in November 1st. So since November 1st, they've just been surging. And if you wanted to pick up some Power Ledger, you can get it on Bittrex, Binance. We talked about that, Cryptopia. So you can see a lot more options for this cryptocurrency. Another thing to keep in mind is the market capitalization. This is how much total money is invested in the project. And then you take this number, the circulating supply, and then you put it into that. The total supply is how many coins will be created overall. So you got the website, then you can come here and you can check them out on social media. You want to make sure that they're active on social media. I'm giving you guys a ton of information. You might have to watch this video over and over again to just learn these various different things, or even look at other people's videos to learn from them. It doesn't have to be me. You can also come here and get market capitalization. So this is how much total money is invested in all of cryptocurrency. Okay, and you can drill it down to a year, the whole year, which is different than all. And you can see that the market overall is up. You can see when the market goes down. You can change the date. Now, here's the total market capitalization for altcoins, meaning not Bitcoin. So you can compare the chart with Bitcoin and without Bitcoin to see how the altcoins are performing. And then here's what they call Bitcoin dominance, market capitalization dominance of Bitcoin. So you can see there was a point in time where Bitcoin had 85% of it, and it's actually kind of now crossed over to where the altcoins are catching up to Bitcoin. At some point in time, the altcoins will pass Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's price will continue to go up because the overall market capitalization will continue to skyrocket. Okay, this 24-hour volume tells you how much money was injected over the last 24 hours. And if we just go back to one of these cryptocurrencies, you can tell 24-hour volume. So let's just find out a cryptocurrency that's got a high 24-hour volume, right? Okay. So if we just click right here, 24-hour volume. Let's see here. So we click that, and CoinMarketCap is going to tell us which cryptocurrencies are getting the most injections of cash. Now, Tether is US dollar comparable, so we kind of overlook that. But what we'd be looking at is something like Bitcoin Gold that's seeing a major injection of cash, which is leading to the 136% over 7-day rise, right? But if we just look at the 24-hour, let's see if we can find one that's really emerging. Okay, Bitcoin Diamond. So Bitcoin Diamond we just talked about. How about BlockTix? This is a better one to use right now. So BlockTix, it's gotten a lot of money in the last 24 hours. It's got a rank of 211, so it's quickly moving up because its 24-hour volume keeps going up. So every 24-hour period that goes up where BlockTix is getting more injection of price, that's going to show you where the cryptocurrency is rising. Now, when you click on BlockTix, you're going to see a massive spike somewhere. All right, so if we just drill down to the 1 month, you can see this right here, right? So there is a spike happening. You're going to want to look at their total supply, their circulating supply, and the market cap. They have tons of room to grow, but they're seeing a large injection in the 24 hours, $21 million. So that's something to keep in mind. And guys, this is how you do it. This is what you're looking at. These are the basics. If you can understand, the market cap and how the circulating supply create the price. So circulating supply divided by market cap equals the price. If that makes sense for you, then you can understand how the 24-hour volume works and how that's relative to understanding what's driving up the price. And then here's the next thing that you can do. Let's just say we wanted to know Dash, and we wanted to know where the money's coming from. CoinMarketCap, if you go where it says markets, you can see where the money's coming from. In this case, it's coming from BitThumb, which is KRW is Korean won. So South Korea is the one pouring a lot of money into Dash right now. And actually 30% of the volume coming in is from South Korea. Now there is some news out of South Korea that's driving this investor confidence, which is that South Korea's government said that they're not going to be banning cryptocurrencies, at least in the short term, which has given investor confidence, which is also pumping money into cryptocurrency. And some of these cryptocurrencies in particular are getting the injection. Dash is one of them. Bitcoin Cash is another. So you saw how we went to the markets. We wanted to see if there's any particular country or if there's any particular exchange that's driving the price. So guys, this is what it is. There's a lot more to know about it, but this is a really long-winded, quick summary of a lot of the things that you're going to want to know. The big thing is protect your private keys, secure your wallets just like you would your personal wallet, but it's not really the same. It's digital wallets. There's a hardware wallet, there's a paper wallet, and there's exchanges, but it's recommended that you get a hardware wallet. The one that a lot of people like is the Ledger Nano S. So just make sure you always back everything up as a matter of practice. And this is Jeff with Altcoin Buzz. If you like videos like this, subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you next time.